Hello, welcome to JAV Show. This is Jorge.
And this is Viv.
And Viv's mic's fucked up. Perfect, it's fixed.
Perfect.
Alright. Yeah, and this week we're posting a little later again because we were lazy fucks. I'm super distracted. And
yeah, I've been busy.
You know, actually thinking about all the car stuff I've been doing, I can see why people think that's like, or how entrepreneurs will try to like monetize this shit.
Oh, like what we were just talking about?
Kind of. Like, because like I am pretty obsessed with doing it, and I'm not tired when I do it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to monetize shit, man. I feel like it takes the fun out of it.
I can see that.
It's almost like a craft I want to just build, not really like I want to sell the shit.
I can definitely see it. I really like baking, and I had a little baking business.
Yeah.
During COVID, and eventually got too busy, and that took the fun out of it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one for sure.
Yeah.
Like if you're, I mean, that's like a soft break there, but that's like if you're too successful, yeah, maybe. But I think more so it's like I don't want to like when I do it for myself.
Yeah.
It's work sometimes, and sometimes it sucks,
Mm-hmm.
but it never sucks that much. But if I did it for someone else, it would just plain suck.
Because you don't get gratification from
The gratification is just monies, right?
Mm.
And it's just like
I don't think so always. Or at least for me, like when I was doing the baking thing, I thought the ability to be creative and do custom orders and to be able to build a brand and have a business part of it, I thought that was really fun too.
Cool. But I don't know, I just feel like some of the shit I do for like my car, like I said before, I hate cleaning my car. I fucking hate it. But if I do it for my own car, I could like go to work, come home, and do that because it's not as much of a chore if it's for my own shit. But now if I had to do it for other people's shit, I'd just be like, fuck this. Like I can only imagine like sometimes when you're doing a car, like something's not working, like a boat's just fucked or something like that, right? Or you drop something into the engine bay or something like that. And then you just work really hard to get it out, you fix it, and it's all good. If I did that on someone else's car, I'd be like, I don't want to do this shit. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, fuck this, I don't want to do this. This is not worth my time. Right? Whereas if it was my own, I'd be like, oh, dude, I want to get this like perfect.
Would you be willing to do it for your own car again and again and again though? Like, do you like it to that degree, or is it a part of the process that you like? That makes sense.
I mean, if I had to do it again and again, that just means I fucked up the first time, though.
Okay, yeah, true.
I mean, ideally when you do it, you don't have to do it again.
Because I feel like there's parts of a process that you do just because it's part of the process that you like, but specific thing you may not like that much.
No, okay, it's like the first time doing it is very, very difficult, but extremely rewarding. And then after you learn the process, I'm obviously not a master, but you feel like, oh my god, if I had any other car that had the same setup, I could do it. I could do it in like half the time that I took the first time, because now I know all the intermediate steps that you can't really learn until you do it. Like you can watch a billion videos about doing something, but until you do it, you learn all the nuances of what you're doing now.
Right.
And then that learning is so rewarding because it's like, oh shit. And then not just that, taking that learning to like another part of your car and like being prepared before you even start feels even better. You're like, oh my god, this job would have took a newbie 3 hours and takes a pro 1.5 hours, and it took me like 2 hours, right?
Oh,
it's just like, oh, because I took the learnings from another job I messed up way back when, and I knew like, okay, I have to put this here, get this set up, have my magnet ready just in case something drops and all this stuff. Then it makes everything feel so much better. It's like, oh shit, I'm like slowly mastering this craft.
You can see.
So like that part is
the learning part of it.
Super, super rewarding. Now if you say like, oh, you do it for money, now I'd be like, I don't know, man. Like,
because at that point the focus isn't learning, right?
Yeah, the focus is like you want to be just super efficient and like maximize your gains and your margins, right? Then it just becomes kind of like a job. Like for me, I do have a job at work and stuff, and it's like 50-50.
I do have a job at work.
Yeah, but it's I do have like a menial task at work, but it's 50-50. Like half of it is just like I just want to get over with the menial task and move on with it, and then the other 50% of it, at least currently, is like, oh, I'm learning a lot of shit and I'm gonna apply it, right? But then at work, unfortunately, they just want the most efficient version of you.
Yeah.
Right. So it's hard to keep learning because at some point they're like, no, we want you to output, not just learn. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas like for this stuff, it's like I'm not too concerned about the efficiency. I'm just concerned about the learning part, right?
And then output would be a result of how well you learn.
Yeah. And then I think like my whole intention of this process is almost like if me or any of my like close friends and family had any issues, I'd be able to like help them diagnose it and fix it for them. Right. And then it just makes it feel like not necessarily like a master, like I'm not a master technician or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I have the thought process to fixing things, which is cool. And I feel like it's like a different mindset. I think I watched the video really early on where it's like, why get into cars and stuff? And then one of the potential consequences is like, oh, you just learn how to fix things. Like not even just cars. Like anything else is like a subset of that. Right. So like
I can see
if
that.
you could fix an entire car, you deal with like plastic, you deal with metals, you deal with putting stuff together, you deal with taking stuff apart, you deal with hinges, you deal with all this stuff like that, right? And fundamentally, if you understood every part of your car down to like the core principles, you could theoretically fix any mechanical machine because they're just a subset of that principle, right?
Yeah.
So like, for example, I was telling you before this, I was fixing my carpet cleaner. Well, I know how to like take it all apart. I know where things go. I know why things goes there because of what I've done in the past, right? Like I know why the hose clamp was there. I know like, oh, if I forego the hose clamp here and put it this other place, I'm not gonna have an issue, for example, right? So I don't know. That's my goal and path. So then it's kind of hard to say like, oh, just monetize it. I was like, oh fuck, I don't know. Like maybe I would charge my friend like a cheap rate for my labor to do it. But other than that, I'd be like, I wouldn't want to, because I feel like you're either all in or you're not in.
I can see it. I feel like you're more likely to say yes if a friend needed help building something that you've never done before.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But also, like, if my friend has some issues with their suspension and then I can help them diagnose it and be like, this is what you need to fix it. And they asked me, like, do you want to fix it for me? I was like, not really, but I'll take some like super cheap rate to help you fix it because you're my friend and stuff. I'm willing to help you out for that, right? Or like if you want, we can do it together and I can show you how to do it. But I don't want to just straight up be in your garage for like 3 hours while you're doing something else.
While you're chilling there on a lawn chair.
Yeah, right. So it's like I don't really want to do that, and I don't want to like. It just feels bad, right?
Yeah.
So then I don't know. That's how I used to think of it now. Maybe I'll change one day, but.
No, I can see it. A lot of hobbies shouldn't turn into...
Some of them should stay hobbies.
Yeah, they should definitely stay hobbies. Yeah. Because if you monetize it or turn it into a job, it just ruins it.
Some aspects of it, yeah. And like, I'm not saying all hobbies. I think some hobbies, it's like, just keep it like that. I'm sure there's a lot of great at-home chefs that do not want to run a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just different at that point. Right?
Yeah.
Because you like... Yeah, I'm sure the chefs, they have the same reasoning. Like, they see the joy of people eating their food, which is probably what a lot of at-home chefs like. But at that scale, I'm sure it takes away a lot of the fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's different being an at-home chef or at-home baker than a line chef.
Yeah.
Or a line cook.
Yeah. Because then I feel like at that point, you have to change your mentality, too. You have to think about it like, I'm a cog in a system.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's true. Like, if everyone thinks they're the master, then nothing's going to get done in the kitchen. Right? Like, some people just have to accept that I'm going to shuck these shells the whole night. And I just have to shuck them the best I can.
This is what I'm passionate about.
Well, sometimes it's a means to,
Means to an end.
Yeah, right? Like, it's just a way to get by, right? But the people who love their job also understands at times you're a leader and at times you're a follower, right? Like, I think that's very important. You can't always... like as inspirational and non-NPC thinking, oh, we're all leaders and shit. It's like, not really. Like sometimes to be a good leader, you have to learn how to be a good follower. Because it's like, how do you learn to lead people if you don't know what their expectation is? So once you learn, once you learn how to follow, when you lead, you know, like, okay, this is your expectation for this person's task. You're not overburdening them, and you're giving them enough to like maximize their efforts. Right?
It's a difference between somebody who's a leader and a boss, I would say.
Oh yeah, true.
You know how to be the people that are under you too. Yeah, in that way.
Yeah, that's true. So then I don't know. So sometimes it's like a lot of people say like, yeah, gotta be an entrepreneur or like gotta not be an NPC and go for it. I was like, sometimes you gotta learn how to fucking be a team player too. I
can see it. I think that there are people that are just built that way in thinking about a business out of everything, and then there's people that like to be a part of a larger project and they don't want to be the boss. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't say one is better than the other. It's just a difference in preference.
Yeah.
And how you want to manage the things that you're passionate about or like the things that you do
Yeah, I think like being a good leader is an evolution, whereas just being like a boss is just you're just given this position. Right?
Yeah.
But being an actual legitimate good leader is a very long process of
I agree.
learning how to follow and learning how to inspire and help your folks and stuff
and help people feel supported.
Yeah, because I mean, some people think of it as in a way of here's my metrics I have to hit, for my team, etc., etc., etc. But I like the leaders think of it as in here are the metrics my team needs to hit. I myself am quite useless. I need to enable my people in order for us to hit these. Right? And there aren't. I feel like I don't know. At least in my career so far, I've seen both, but I want to say it's like a 30-70 split. Like 30% of the leaders I've seen is like really, really good. And 70% of them are just like, I want to hit these metrics kind of thing.
I can see it.
And yeah, like that's why I've always been so hesitant when there's like these like project managerial roles, because I still want to like learn what everyone else is doing. I understand, because I think at times my bosses or leaders would like try to push me into those. And for me, I was like, oh, I really want to like know what that person's doing, that person's doing, that person's doing. I want to like do it once so I know how.
You sound like Elon Musk here. How
shitty it is to do it, or how much it can be, like how it can be better. But I also get their point where it's like you can't do it all. Like you can't do every single. You can't be every single cog at once at some point, right? It's very, very difficult, right?
It takes a lot of time too.
Yeah. So it's like sometimes you don't need to know what your plumber does. You just need to know he needs to do this job sometimes. So there's like, I think, such a healthy balance between the two. And I for sure have no idea.
What's your experience with having a good leader versus not good leaders? Like, have you ever had somebody in your life that has been a very inspirational and pivotal leader within your experience for your career or any other field?
I personally feel like, so I think everyone's style is different, right? So I feel like being a good leader is also a fact of knowing what that person's style is.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So then, at first I struggled with too much freedom because I was, you slack a little, you start procrastinating and shit. But then I realized that a lot of the people I work with just want to like give you the work and just do it. Like they don't want to. So first of all, I hate micromanagers. So that for sure won't work.
Is there anyone that actually likes micromanagers though?
Maybe. Like I know people who don't like to think at their job probably likes micromanagers. Like they just want to do their task, right?
Like, I just want to do my work, get paid, go home.
Yeah. So I'm sure they like micromanagers because they don't want to think of what the next step is. They just want to be like, I'm told what to do. I'm going to go do it. If it takes me an hour, a day, a week, I'm going to do it. And my leader's not going to bitch because they know that I'm doing what they said. So if, at the end of the day, it's their fault if it's wrong.
I feel like micromanaging is also a little bit different too. It's somebody who constantly checks in on you.
Yeah.
And they're managing literally like every single minute, 5 minutes, hour of how you do your work and when you do your work and everything like that.
So I definitely am not that style. In terms of a leader that I like, I've always really had a lot of very flexible leaders, and sometimes that's to my own demise, as in sometimes I need to be pushed a little bit.
Yeah. I like that you're recognizing this, or you recognize this.
Yeah, but I know the healthy balance, and the healthy balance is a generally very flexible leader, but really pushes on those goals that we need to get. At critical times. And I don't know, like I can't say like every week or every other week. I'm not sure, but I just know a good leader will make sure I'm not struggling. Or actually, no, sorry. They will let me struggle, but just enough.
Yeah.
Right. They will let me struggle to learn. And they're willing to like help and such, but they want to make sure that I'm pushing it myself and not being spoon-fed to stuff. Because that is also where I find the joy, is like figuring stuff out too.
They'll throw you in the deep end, but with a floaty. Yeah,
kind of. Yeah. So that's the type of leader I like. Now, what type of leader I am, I have no idea. Like, I actually feel like because I like doing everything, I'm scared that I'm a micromanager type of leader. But that's also why I don't really want currently any leadership roles, is because I want to learn a bit more of how to like deal with people first and work with different people.
Have you ever been in a leadership role at any job or
kinda. It's like at least when I was in construction, I was like coordinating like the crews themselves. But that was nice because that was very hands off. It was like go there and be like, hey, you guys got to get this, like this is what needs to be done, right? And when they have a problem, they'll ask me. I'll go there and I'll help them fix it. And then if it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. I just be like, all right, I thought it was gonna take a week. It actually takes a week and a half, is what it is. I can't do anything about it, right? And then you just work with that. And I was very hands off in that role, but you kind of had to be because I had so much to deal with. Like every day was a different fire.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid if I have anything more intensive, like design intensive stuff, I might be too micromanaged because like I'm so into the exactly how everything is. But I'm very conscious of that too. So like I don't want to be that. I want to be like a good leader, but I feel like part of it is you have to trust your people, and sometimes it's hard.
True.
Like sometimes you will get burned for trusting your people, not intentionally. It's just like you trust them that they're gonna figure it out. You want to. That's the whole like you want them to struggle a little bit to learn and such, and then they just don't, and then they
fuck up completely.
Yeah, it just sucks, right? So I don't know. I think I'm pretty good at like following instructions and getting the task done and thinking outside of the box a little bit. Especially, I think I'm pretty good at usually the thinking outside the box part. But yeah, like my current manager kind of switched. Like they switched. I have a new manager.
Yeah,
he's a bit more micromanager, but he's also like a really smart guy, as in like he knows a lot about the industry. So a lot of times I just like take a shit. I'm just like, whatever, it is what it is. I'm just here to like learn. I cannot learn if I think I know more than I actually know.
I think that's a really good mindset going into it though.
So yeah, a lot of days I'm just gonna eat the shit. And at the same time, he also understands like I'm a bit newer in the industry, so he understands at times I'm gonna struggle a little bit. And I think again, he's trying to push me to a certain extent, and that's why he's so micromanager. And I was like, that's fine, whatever. It is what it is. You can't always gain. Actually, this is one saying I actually hate, where it's like, you know, you should respect everyone. No, it's like I don't think you automatically deserve everyone's respect.
I fully agree.
Right. So then I should like I'd have to earn his trust and respect so he doesn't micromanage me, which means I just have to do as he say for now. If mistakes come up with what he says, then just communicate to him and like work it out as a team. And then at one point, ideally, he would trust me, and then we would not have this issue anymore. But it's not just like, oh, just because I'm an engineer, he has to trust me. No, that's not true. I don't believe that for anyone for 1 second, right? Like you could be the smartest guy in the world and still a dipshit and not deserve respect. So then that's how I feel like is right now. But yeah, I usually like a more flexible manager that understands I'm gonna get my shit done.
I feel like a little bit of trust is needed, at least, so that you feel empowered to learn and grow and make mistakes. I feel like if you feel like you have that room to make mistakes, then you're more willing to step out of your comfort zone and push the boundaries of what you can learn and where you can go with the stuff that you're working with.
Yeah, that's true. That's the trust going the other way, right? It's like not him trusting me, but me trusting that what I'm doing is not going to be catastrophic if I fuck up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I'm sure he doesn't like put me in those specific positions. Like there's always ways to mitigate that and such.
Yeah.
So that's good. Like that's what I like too. And I don't know, like I always like I don't know how to explain, but like leaders who are willing to say it's my fault. Right?
Yeah.
Like you failed because this is my fault. Because this is the team. I'm the leader. I'm supposed to be setting you up for success, not for failure. So
I fully agree.
So if you failed, it's my fault. Those are the type of leaders I like, but I feel like not a lot of people are like that. Because I feel like not a lot of people are humble enough to kind of like say that.
I fully agree, because I've been in leadership roles and I am in one right now. And I think that being in a role like this, you have to be able to take some of the blame in a way when people on your team fail, because as a leader, you should promote success.
Yeah.
And try and set them up for success. But then also, because you are the leader and because they are people that you're trying to encourage growth and have them learn things, you should also give them breathing room for failure, and you should expect a level of failure at times. Because if you're not failing, you're also not growing in some degrees.
Yeah, you just need to fail at the right conditions.
Yeah, but you need to set them up for success in general so that they don't fail in a way that's catastrophic, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, how are you like a leader? What leaders do you like, and how are you as a leader?
The leaders that I've had in general in my life, I would say, are all pretty trusting and very easygoing and open with me. And I would say that at times when they're really trusting, I feel like really trusting and really open and liberal, I feel like it can be too much in a sense where it feels like you don't really have direction, or it feels like you're undertaking a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like in some sense, when you're undertaking a lot, it's a lot of stress. But I also feel like I thrive really well on stress.
Right.
Because it feels like you have to dial in right now or that's it.
Yeah.
And so that forced stress kind of helps me in some ways, but for the long term, I don't think it's a good thing. And I feel like that's a balance that I'm kind of working out right now at work, because they give me a lot of trust, too much trust in my opinion, to do things. And in a lot of ways, it's too stressful to try and navigate where I'm supposed to go and what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. If they give you too much trust and not as much direction, because they're like, oh yeah, you can do it, you got it. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, this is a little bit too much outside of my zone and I need more direction. Yeah. But that's my experience with leaders in general. And for me as a team lead right now, I feel like I try and set up my team for success, but I know that because some of them are growing, that they're going to have areas where they fail. Yeah. And so to me, I have to take that into account and expect some sort of failure and put that into my plan for whenever I give people new projects or delegate some tasks, that I should give some breathing room for some delays or some sort of failure. Otherwise, if I don't account for that, then it'll set the whole team back, or it'll set me back, and it'll discourage them for trying to push boundaries and really trying to learn if they feel like they have no breathing room to make mistakes. Yeah. But otherwise, I feel like I'm pretty easygoing. Yeah. And I'm definitely not a micromanager because I have my own shit to do too. And I do trust that everyone's an adult. They should be able to learn and have their own drive. But that's how I run things, I would say.
That's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I still have to learn that aspect of my career is leadership. I think I'm just still so obsessed with so much technical shit that I don't really care for that at the moment. But eventually, I mean, I feel like also as a consultant, it's actually not that easy. Like you're solo a lot. Yeah. At times you're just doing your own shit. You don't really like, you are your own lead. So you don't really have other people under you or many people under you at all. If anything, it's just like one other person above you or something like that.
That makes sense.
That's it. But we'll see. I'll see how it goes. I do know one thing for a fact is like, I think leaders have to be kind of lonely. It's factual. It's almost like, I remember this one, it happens in some of the books I've been reading. It's like the captain should have his own quarters. They should never like be with the sailors, because the sailors needed space away from captain to talk shit and all this other stuff. And it's like, it's a necessary thing. So it's like leaders should kind of be your friend, as in like you should be open to talk to them about specific things, but they cannot be that close. It's just how life is.
I think there is always going to be that space between you and the people on your team, because you're just in different positions. So there's no way that you guys can bond the same way or work out the problems in the same way. Yeah. Like if your team is struggling to a degree, they're gonna be like, oh my god, why should you give me this project, or blah blah blah, I'm struggling with this and stuff. And there's just things you can't say to the person that's slightly above you in a position. Yeah. Regardless,
you need that physical separation so you can talk shit. It's necessary. Very, very necessary. Yeah, maybe I'll just never become a leader one day. I'll just do my own shit. But it's very difficult because it's like you can't do everything by yourself. Unless you have some crazy AIs, then you can.
I mean, that's becoming true.
We'll see. I mean, it's still like fundamental to exploit other people's labor for your advantage if you want to become wealthy. It's a fact.
It's true.
So the faster you learn it, obviously you'll get into higher and higher positions and such.
It's true. The better you are at exploiting people, the more money you can make.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like literally beginning of my engineering career, the first thing we had to think about is like, you want to become a project manager or you want to become a technical specialist, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's advantages of both, and truly both could make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on how you treat it and stuff. But for sure, on average, the managers will typically make more money.
Yeah.
But the technical specialist is theoretically like, let's say, unfireable, or they're tenured essentially, right? As in, like, even if you did fire them, they'll find another place so easily because they're like one of the 3 people in the world that knows how to do this, or knows it to that degree.
If you're a specialist, for sure.
But for sure, I've not been doing that. I've just been like a fucking Swiss Army knife. I've just been learning everything random that I can.
I think that's also very important and valuable in today's world, because with technology advancing, you need somebody who has a more well-rounded knowledge and the soft skills to transition between fields and very niche fields. And that kind of soft skill, I think, is very hard to teach.
I mean, I also think it's been a debate for a long time now, right? Do you want to become a generalist or a specialist, and what's better? I actually have no idea, because there's extreme value in both, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, a specialist can only do specific things, but they do it to the highest degree, where you build trust with clients or whatever to get the thing done to the best that it can be done. But then the generalist can be attacked with almost any problem and just figure it out.
I value being a generalist more than being a specialist.
I value both. I want to be the most special generalist.
You piece of shit.
I want to be the best generalist. I want to be better than all the specialists and all the things.
I want to be the most special generalist I can be. The most general specialist you can be.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally what I always obsess over. It's like, sometimes I like the whole 80-20 rules, where, 20% of the effort gets you 80% of the way. And then at times it's like, oh shit, there's that niche thing that I just want to jump down the rabbit hole and like figure out, because like only me and 5 other people in the world really figured this out, kind of thing. And that's the stuff I really like to get into, or like only me and 5 other people cared to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. It's not even like, it's not that other people don't have the ability to figure it out, but we're the only one who has enough discipline, devotion, and curiosity to actually figure it out. Right. Because sometimes it just doesn't matter that much.
Feel special in every single way, huh?
Well, it's just like, sometimes you figure that shit out and it's completely useless. It's like, oh, you figured this crazy thing you did, or this outcome. So it's like, for example, everyone uses this rule of thumb thing because 99.9% of the time it will result into that, right? And then at times I might think about the 0.1%. Like, well, what happens if this happens and this happens, this happens? Then you get into the 0.1%. And what happens when you get 0.1%? You get all these very niche things that happen. And that knowledge, to be honest, is completely useless. But somewhere down the road, for some reason, it'll be useful.
And
like,
when it comes to that day and that moment, you're going to be like, fuck yes, it's me. This is what I've trained this whole time for.
Well, like, it's literally happened at very weird times where it's like, oh, we're in a very weird scenario. I was like, I've gone like fucking 80% into this rabbit hole already. I already know which way to go to finish this rabbit hole, but I know exactly what you guys are talking about.
And it's so satisfying in that one moment that you're like, this is worth it.
Yeah,
this is
like,
worth it.
I slaved away an entire week trying to figure this shit out for complete useless stuff for the last 3 years, and I can finally apply it now.
This 1 second of fame is worth.
Yeah, but it's cool because it's like when you hear other people doing that, maybe other people don't care, but for me, I have that respect. I was like, oh shit, that person did what I would have done too 5 years ago. And they went through that, and then so other people are like, oh cool, this guy's pretty smart, he figured it out. But for me, I'm like, dude, that's respect. I know the pain you went through to get to that point right there. So it's kind of cool. It's like the more you learn, the more you're like, oh shit, I suck at this.
Or that low probability, high feedback moment.
Yeah, because to be honest, like if you want to figure out any system, like the 20-80 rule works perfectly fine. You only really need to learn about 20% of the shit, and you'll know most of it already. And then the specialists are the ones who like figure out all the way down to the last 0%, right?
I agree.
And that shit becomes like enjoyment at some point for me, rather than work, when you get to those levels. Because it's like, oh shit, only like fucking X amount of people in the world actually knows about this. It's kind of cool.
What do you think it is that you know? That you're really intelligent in on this, or you're really experienced on this, you have a lot of know-how in this that not a lot of people know, but it's a very, very niche and specific thing that you're just waiting for the moment to come for you to...
Okay, here's a weird one that I think it's not that I'm... Okay, it's just like I have a little bit of experience, but I feel like everyone hates or doesn't want to do this. And it's not even purely design, but it's called straight current stuff, right? So I'm not electrical. I don't know jack shit about electricity and shit. But there's a very specific thing with electric trains and concrete and the way the system works where you could like destroy concrete with the feedback loop of electrical systems, right? So like I was forced to figure it out because no one wanted to figure it out at my job when I was doing the train.
Yeah.
So it ended up being me and some technical specialist in like Virginia.
Oh shit.
And like I'd have to call him and be like, can you explain this shit to me? And then he'll explain a little bit. And then at some point I would be out in the field thinking about this while like seeing guys do work and figuring it out and reading more shit online and like a combination of it where it felt like I could go through a straight current design. I'm not saying I'm designing myself.
Yeah.
And I could pinpoint areas they're going to have issues with on constructability and issues that they're going to have in the actual design itself. And I can be like, you guys are going to fuck up right here. And then it's not going to work in the design right here. Right. But it's kind of useless because it really only work with electric trains. And I'm not an electrical engineer. So like I can't even like design and stamp it myself. It's really, I can scrutinize it because I've coordinated the people to build it before. And typically the people who build it, they actually don't understand either. I just tell them like plug this to this and do this and this. And then in our drawings and specs, they'll say do this and do this and do this. And then they just follow it, right? And then I can go through the specs and be like, okay, well, works here, works here, works here. It doesn't work in this situation. So we need like a special thing or special scenario. And I feel like in terms of my work, that's like probably the only thing that I ended up figuring out that no one else wanted to. Because like at the end of the day, the one technical specialist, he actually ended up leaving. So it was just me left. And
Perfect.
And then the electrical engineer's like, what do we do? And we're like, stamp this.
did he leave because you're like, I need to be the one niche expert in this field? I'm gonna slash your fucking tires.
No, I think he just, I don't know exactly. I don't know if he left for another job or retired or something like that. But yeah, it ended up being that. And then it came to the point where I thought it wasn't that difficult at some point, and everyone thought it was fucking magic. So then they gave me unlimited time to work on it. And I was like, okay.
It must have felt amazing.
I mean, it was frustrating because at times I was like,
I don't fucking know what to do either.
I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, I'm not an electrical engineer. I didn't fucking sign up for any of this shit.
You like snap this and you cross both the fingers like,
yeah. Yeah, pretty much at some point.
The guy in Virginia said this is okay.
Yeah. So then, yeah. And then at times they'll have like constructability meetings and shit and they'll pull me in and ask me about this stuff. And I'll be like,
let me get back to you. And you're like messaging that guy in Virginia.
I was like, this should work. Well, the thing is like, I knew enough where some of the tech specialists would ask me about it. And I'd be like, because then they would know theoretically, this is how we should do it. And then I would tell them that's never going to work because of these issues we'll have on site. So then they'll ask me how to design it. And then I'll be like, if you have like the base of the design, then I can just scrutinize the rest to get it to actually work.
Right.
And then, yeah, like literally no one else, like literally our electrical contractor didn't care to figure it out too. They're just like, we'll put wires where you want us to put wires. I'm like, okay.
Just tell me what to do. Yeah.
So then like at some point, like some of it started failing and that was the stuff that happened like way back when. And then I had to come up with a plan of how to fix it. And I was like, all right, do this. And then it just, yeah, they just started doing that. And then I think they implemented that for the rest of the project.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I was like, I think I know what I'm doing. So then when the new stuff came in, my new job with the new LRT and shit, before I even started there, the first thing they did is like, I wasn't even hired with them yet because I still knew people there. And they sent me some drawings. They're like, can you look at this? I was like, what is it? They're like, it's straight current. I was like, okay.
You're like, not for free.
I was just like, fuck it, I'll do it. And then I ended up working for them for a bit. And I think they were hoping I was going to help them later on because I was working on some other scope first. Yeah. And then I left, right? And then like a year later, they called me and they're like, can you look at this drawing for us? And then I'll be like, I'll circle all the things you should talk to the designer about. And I'll give you the reason. But then, yeah, that's it. Because I couldn't actually do it myself, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's other people who know how to do it. It's just like within Edmonton, there's just not a lot of people care to do it. Like a lot of the designers are not Edmonton based, right? So they never actually saw how it gets implemented and shit. But I wouldn't say, like, I've been so far out of touch with that stuff right now. Like, it would take me a bit to, like, get my mind back into it.
I can definitely see your face light up when you're talking about it, though.
It's just, yeah. I mean, it's cool because it's, like, it's so frustrating. It's, like, frustrating for, like, a month, and then all of a sudden one day it clicks. Right? You're like, I don't know this shit. I don't know what I'm doing. Why are these people giving me this scope? This fucking sucks. I don't get it. Like, you almost hate your life for that entire month. And then that one day you're like, oh, I understand everything now.
I feel like when it clicks and you see your project or the motion that you put forward work out,
yeah,
that's the satisfaction that people get when they say that, oh, I really like problem solving, or I really like working on puzzles.
But you have to go through that.
Yeah.
You have to go through chicken and broccoli.
Yes.
You got to get through that shit. You got to go through the fucking pain before you can get the gain. I mean, it's similar when I was doing the Power BI stuff. Like, for the longest time, I was like asking my bosses, like, do we have any specialists that could help me? And they're like, no. I was like, that was it. That was the end of the conversation. I was like, okay. And then I ended up figuring it out. And then since then, it's been like, it was literally the same thing. It was like 3 months of me just slaving away trying to figure this shit out. And then one day it just clicked. And then since that day, it was like, I feel like I could figure out any problem in their systems. The problem is usually not my problem now. It's usually like, you guys aren't giving me the right data, or the output you want is not possible. Again, because you guys aren't giving me the right data. Right. So then it becomes like not my problem now. It's just like, I just have to figure out like usually when they come to me with problems now, I just have to figure out whose problem is it, and then tell them who to talk to fix it. And then what I do is I like start manipulating things. I was like, is this what you want to see? And they're like, yes. I'm like, I'm doing it very inefficiently. Like, I'm just adding a bunch of random shit. You need to fix it at the base, and this is how you fix it. And then I'll give them that, and then they'll go to that person. And then once they fix it, I'm like, perfect. Now I just have to like press enter on my code, and everything's gonna work.
This definitely works in tangent with what you were saying about being a generalist specialist. Like having all this knowledge in different places, but you're so knowledgeable in these very niche fields that obviously by your stories people turn to you in these scenarios.
Well, yeah, kind of. I feel like, I don't know, like you want to be really good at one field, but you have to know enough of all the surrounding fields to not be a dumbass completely, right? Like, it's like, this might not be a good analogy, but I assume a really good chef still needs to know about desserts.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? So it's like, you're really, really good at like cooking these like 5-course meals and shit. And maybe you're not the dessert chef, but you still need to know enough of that to not be a complete fool. Right? And I feel like most good specialists are not so out of touch. Like, I have seen some specialists who are so out of touch that they only know their one field. Yeah. Whereas as soon as you stray like an inch away from it, they're like clueless. Right? And they can't adapt to that shit. Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to be, but I don't know if that makes money too. At the end of the day, I gotta feed my random hobbies I have too.
That's true. I remember, I think it's really, I don't know what the word is here, proud or rewarding as a friend to hear all your stories in the background about, oh, I'm learning Power BI right now. Oh, I just got this project. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I have to learn this. Oh, I've been studying for this. Oh, I'm going to apply to do this test to get a certificate. Yeah. And then the one day that I was randomly scrolling on LinkedIn and I saw you change your post and say like, oh, I'm now certified in Power BI. I was like, whoa, I'm so happy for him. This is so like seeing and hearing the background process and the journey behind all this, and then seeing it actually come to fruition to something that's solid and tangible and getting a certificate. I was like, wow, that's such a journey to hear about.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have many journeys, but at least the ones I go on, I try to go on it till the end. Is usually what my goal is. And yeah, I don't know. I just fucking love learning random shit. Like, most of my spare time now is just watching videos of how to fix my car on certain things. It's like problems I don't even have yet. I'm like, oh, how did this person fix this problem that I don't currently have?
Your car is perfectly running in this test, and you're like, I'm gonna break it.
I'm gonna fuck this up so I can fix this.
I want to fix it.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. That's, I don't know. I feel like
submissive and breakable.
Maybe I have some like unfound respect, but I always respect like technicians and shit with all the shit they do. all the millions of hours they put in to learn this one thing, and then I feel like I have a cheat code now. Like this guy who's probably so nice just puts his fucking video up on how to do it, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like this probably took him like thousands of hours of actual work. Not like he didn't devote 1,000 hours to figure it out, but he used 1,000 hours of work to learn this thing, and now he's just sharing it. I was like, oh dude, I value that shit so much.
And to learn it to a degree where he's confident enough to share it in a video to teach other people. I feel like when you really know a concept and you're able to teach it, then, if you're able to teach a concept, then that means that you really understand it, because you're able to answer questions and answer the workarounds if somebody was to ask any questions about it.
Yeah. What do you have any mentors? Like, what do you think about mentorship and stuff?
I've considered finding a mentor before in the past, but I think it's a very hard task to do, to find somebody who's willing to mentor you, somebody whose life and path and goals really align with where you want to be and how you want to navigate your path and goals, and to find somebody that's clicks with you and is just willing to do it for you or with you. But I think finding a mentor in life, or finding a mentor to achieve any goal and kind of guide you through any goal, is a really fortunate thing to have if you can find someone who will work with you to do so. Yeah.
I feel like I've been looking, especially earlier on, I've been looking for one for the longest time, and now I kind of just gave up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I feel like it's not a thing you can look for.
It's
like,
very difficult.
Kind of just happens.
Yeah. I know there's people that do that as their main business, like they're a mentor or whatever, but half the time I'm like, I feel like it's hard to differentiate behind somebody who feels like they're really passionate in something and wants to do it as a job or make some sort of monetary value out of it, versus somebody who's genuinely passionate and also equally passionate and is capable in teaching people, and didn't just become a mentor because they're like, okay, well, I need to make some money. Yeah. And this is an avenue for me to make money.
I feel like so for me, it's so iffy. It's like, I don't know. What's the credibility? Like, they must have some credibility to be able to sell that service. Yeah. But the ingenuity of it, like not feeling genuine of it, makes it feel really weird.
I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been wanting one for a while, but now I've just kind of given up, and I've kind of just been doing whatever, because I feel like typically when you see someone that you want them to be your mentor, they are at some point of their life that you want to get to, right? In general, I feel like that's how people want to see in their mentor. But a lot of times, again, I go back to the technical shit, and then I figure out what they know technically, and then I'm like, I don't care anymore, right? Yeah. But then also, I know there's a part of me that wants a like life portion of this mentorship.
I think that's really difficult when it comes to life and things that aren't really solid and tangible in that way.
Yeah. Like love and kids and relationships and dealing with people.
Emotions.
Yeah, that's tough. I feel like I've not found a good source to like bounce that off of, like a mentor. It's more of, I just talk to people, because I'm usually pretty open about talking about stuff to like my friends and things. And I feel like that's enough of not even advice. It's just like, I like to bounce things off people. By the end of the day, I'm pretty solid on what decisions I'm gonna make. So it's like, I don't know. I'm gonna make the mistake, so there's no point discussing what mistake it's gonna happen. So I just kind of take it.
That makes sense. I feel like it's easier to find a mentor when it comes to something very straightforward, like, hey, I want to have this type of body, I want to lift this much, so I'm going to find a gym mentor. Easy, very straightforward. It's very black and white. But finding somebody who's mentoring you in life, that's a whole other level, and very, very difficult to do, I feel.
I mean, even just with the car thing, for the longest time, I wanted like a mentor to like show me the shit. But I feel like, dude, anyone that's good in car, they're just going to become a mechanic. So like, they're not going to waste their time trying to teach other people when they're working, right? So I felt like impossible to find anything like that. So then that's why I was like, fuck, I'm going to learn it myself then.
I also feel like people who feel like they have a lot to teach when it comes to life and stuff, they just have kids.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, let me just teach my kid how I think that they should have lived life and all the things that I would have liked to hear growing up. and the ways that I would have wanted to be guided and supported or whatever, I'm just going to do that to my kid.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a balance of it too. Like, I don't directly straight up want to mentor anyone, but when people ask me for advice, I would try to like help them, but to a certain degree. Like, I want them to try to figure it out too. Like, I want them to have that freedom to like learn it instead of me just telling them, because I feel like when you tell someone something, it sticks different than when they actually learn that lesson. So I guess it would be tough the reverse, right? Of me finding someone who's willing to mentor me, but also willing to like teach, but also let me learn on my own. It's a tough thing. I have no aspirations currently of it. But it's pretty admirable that people who do that, who are willing to like see a potential in someone else and then willing to like give them their knowledge and everything else they have to get even further than them. It's like pretty noble.
Yeah, for sure.
Tough. People are greedy. I
don't know if I see any examples of that in real life either. Or my current.
I mean, you hear examples of like, you know, like Warren Buffett mentoring like Bill Gates or some shit, or all that stuff. But I feel like that's a different story too, or potentially different story, or it's not. I don't know.
I agree.
But it is cool because like it is kind of like a cheat code in life. But like finding someone who's willing to do that's the hard part. Because like I've went through like some engineering mentorship programs and shit, and it wasn't that great. It was like half of it was just listening to like, oh, how great this person is, and the other half it's like, oh, you got to figure it out. I'm like, well, what the fuck are you here for?
Yeah. What am I getting unpaid or like paid less or whatever it is to be here for?
Yeah. That's tough. I feel like at the end of the day, it's like it has to start somewhere like super not related. It's almost like you find a friend at volleyball who by coincidence is really good at engineering and shit for me, and then all of a sudden they're willing to chat with me outside of volleyball about that stuff, and then that becomes something, right?
Yeah, you talk on the side of a curb or one day and you're like, oh my god, you actually have these same values and goals as me? Please help me, blah, blah, blah.
I guess it goes back to like, oh, it is kind of nice or very useful in a weird way to have all these other hobbies. Is that you might end up just meeting someone that connects in a different hobby that will really, really help you in that one. Or like just benefit you somehow of like knowledge or skill or something.
I feel like it's easy to find a friend or a mentor or somebody to just guide you in one really small aspect in life. Yeah. And maybe a very short period and a very small thing. But an overall encompassing one or for something that's a larger goal is like for sure very hard to find.
Yeah, that's fucking tough. Very, very tough. Do you want to say anything about leadership or mentorship, or how's your week or other shit that's been going on?
Let's see. Let's do how's my week. My week's been fucking busy as shit.
Yes.
With work, it's been insane. My company just acquired 2 new small companies again to put under our conglomerate of companies. And so the integration and onboarding of the staff and other companies has added so much more work to my plate. And we got 2 new clients. So that's also added a lot of work onto my plate. And for the last 2 weeks, but especially this week, I've been bombarded with meetings and additional work that every single time I have a meeting or a call with my boss or my manager, I get like 2 or 3 or a handful of new tasks added to my plate, and it's been a lot. And then it's always a task that's really important and urgent, and it pushes everything else to the back burner.
Yeah.
So for this week, my planner has just been growing and growing and growing, and every new task and thing that I need to do that was given to me like the previous day that I'm working on, it's like, okay, wait, stop what you're doing right now and work on this new thing and work on this five new things. Or, okay, that thing that you were doing yesterday, we have to shorten the timeline for that because we need to get this new thing done, but we also need this last thing done. So we just need to like chop, really like lock in, focus hard, and it's just been like a lot.
Damn, sounds stressful.
Yeah, like yesterday, I was in meetings and calls all day until like 3-ish, and from like 8:30 to 3. And I got 1 new project that's done that needs to be handed in end of day Monday. Yeah. But I haven't gotten it yet. Yeah. Because they're still working on the outline of it. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, we should probably be done and get it back to you on like Monday around noon. But we need it done by Monday end of day. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Damn.
And then I have another one that got added to my plate that needs to be done by Friday, but I still need to finish doing the review and everything for it. So it should be done before end of day Friday, so I can do review and adjustments and send it to QA and everything before end of day.
Yeah,
it's insane.
How do you think it kind of like bombs the quality of the shit that you guys do?
I think so, to a degree, because I feel like they're putting essentially just too much on our plate.
Yeah.
And if you have that much and you're just trying to output too many projects or too many tasks, then you can only do it to a certain degree in quality.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It's almost like treating you guys like the India team, but you're not in India.
I know. Fucking shit.
Which is tough.
I'm just a girl.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. It seems like you're really like going to become the big manger soon.
Oh no, I don't want to be.
The biggest manger around town.
You don't want to be.
You manage everything.
Yeah, and then yesterday I don't know what happened, but I hurt my neck somehow.
Sleeping?
No, literally just like living.
Oh,
I was just doing random stuff and I turned my neck all of a sudden and then I felt this huge ass kink in my neck, and so the back of my neck right here where my neck meets my trap hurts so fucking much. I can't turn my neck all the way to the right now or like lean my head back because it hurts so fucking bad.
I get like a tennis bar or some shit on that.
Yeah, I'm getting old or something. But that's my week, essentially. Stress and work.
God damn, that seems rough. I think my week's been... It's been a lot busier for me at work, but it's still pretty good balance. Like I'm just learning a lot still at work, which is the goal. Which is the whole goal of my endeavor of going to this contract job for a year and a bit.
Is your contract almost over or something?
No, it's another year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm literally just learning. Pretty much, it's kind of nice. They're contracting me out to this new company, and I'm just learning everything about them, what they do, how to do my job within their company and shit. So that's cool. And then other than that, obsessed with still working on the car. It's kind of nice. It's almost like I have two jobs. Like once I go to work, go work out, and come home, and like if it wasn't so fucking cold, I'd be like in the garage doing shit.
Yeah. So when it gets warmer, you're just gonna disappear into the garage for endless hours.
Actually, it's kind of bad because sometimes I wouldn't skip, but like for example, yesterday I shortened my workout a little bit. It was like technically supposed to be like a cardio chill day, anyways. But I shortened it even further because I was like, I want to go home and work on this stuff. But working on that stuff is pretty physically intensive, so that's like my excuse. But I don't know if it's a good excuse or not.
It must feel so fucking nice though to be so heads down and engrossed in something that you're passionate in. Like the feeling that your brain is on fire or being stimulated to this degree must feel so fucking good.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like you have to. I feel like back then, I think people have to force this on themselves.
I feel like some people just aren't that passionate.
Kind of, but like I feel like some people give the excuse that they're not passionate of being not passionate, if that makes sense. Like I feel like they just gotta do something, try to do it to the best they can, and then until they do it, then they can say like, I don't like it. Or I'm not as passionate about it.
Really? I feel like that's kind of different from being passionate, because when you're passionate about something, you don't need to force yourself to any degree. It's like a drive and a will that you almost can't control, that you just really want to do this thing because it just feeds your whatever reward that you get from doing it in a way that's unreplaceable to whatever else you're doing. But then it's like you're obsessed with this one thing because you just love the feeling that it gives you.
Yeah, but then so then that comes into a bit of a philosophical question where it's like, how are passions created, right? So from your explanation, it's created by luck, whim, out of chance. Something happens.
I feel like it's
you get super
something that you by nature are attracted to, right. And naturally you naturally are gravitated to that type of stuff. Like no one forced you to be an engineer. It's just something that you knew that you had a passion for, that you were interested in, that you naturally had a knack for.
Right. But so then that's one side of the story. The other side of the story is doing something, not knowing if you like it or not yet.
Oh yeah, like and exposing yourself to new things.
And then that becoming a passion. So I feel like there's two ways of going about it. I understand your way, but I think that that's doesn't always happen. And I feel like what you've said in your explanation is sometimes the excuse for people, which is, to be honest, sometimes my excuse too. Like sometimes I wouldn't try something or go for something because it's like, oh, I don't have a knack for it. I'm not going to be passionate about it, right? But then I feel like when you force yourself to do something, you may not like it at first, but it may become a passion later.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I can see that. Like,
so
if
then,
you're blocking yourself from experiencing new things, then how can you find new passions?
Right. So then it's not necessarily something that's effortless, especially at first, but becomes effortless later too. So that's why it's like, I don't like to say that, you know, if you're passionate about it, it should be super easy for you and all that stuff, because it does detract people from saying like, oh, just try it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you may hate it at first, and after you give it the honest effort and you still hate it, then that's fair.
That's a fair.
At that point, that's fair. But then if you don't at least give that effort first, because you're saying, oh, it's not my passion because I don't have a knack for it, then it's like, that's an unfair assessment of it at the moment. Right. So it's like, that's how I like to think of it. So when people ask me about it, I was like, yeah, no, it's true. When I'm doing it and when you are in the state of passionate or of passion, then it becomes effortless. But then you may need a little bit of effort at the beginning.
I can see that.
To grind out through a portion of it, and then it becomes passionate.
I do think that some things are also not enjoyable until you're a decent level of good at it.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Like if you're learning volleyball for the first time and you just keep getting packed in the face or you just suck ass, it's not going to be fun. Yeah. But until you get to the point where you're skilled enough to be able to play with the game and actually strategize and navigate things that way, then that's when it becomes really fun. Yeah. So there is a level that you have to get to, but also I think it's just something that I've kind of always made an excuse, and I don't think it's a good excuse, is you just got to do it. I mean, part of my excuse sometimes it's like, oh, it costs a lot to do and stuff, which is I think also fair. It's like golf, I liked it when I was doing it, but it is a fucking expensive sport. Yeah. So it's like I don't see myself doing it forever, kind of thing. Like if I had a family, that's the first thing I'd drop, just purely for the time and the money. Oh yeah. Right. So then you got to find something that isn't as intense. But I mean, I say that about cars, but then I was just thinking, if it was like a car, I would imagine you'd be like, all right, son, I'm going to teach you about cars. I mean, okay, so for the longest time, that was one of my excuses, was it is an expensive hobby. But what's pretty expensive too is having to bring your car into fix because you don't know how to fix it. You're right. Which is also quite expensive. Right. The tools, a useful hobby. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. And then, yeah, the tools are expensive and all that shit, and they're not easy to come by, but you buy it once, you don't have to buy it for life. Yeah, kind of. And then you can kind of start, you know, you feel empowered. You feel like this is a thing that's never going to stop me. Like my car break now is never going to stop me because I always know how to figure out what to do to fix it. I mean, I'm not at that level at all, so I'm still like trying to learn that shit, but that's the end goal for me, is like how to figure out all this stuff. Which is cool. But yeah, anyways, back to my week. I didn't do shit. Just worked, fixed stuff. But on Friday we had a St. Patty's Day thing at work. That was pretty cool. What did you do for that? So, like I said, I'm contracted out to a company, so that company had a St. Patty's Day thing. So they had a thing where we just went to a bar at like 3:30. Yeah. And then my company also had a St. Patty's Day thing starting at 4:30. So I went to that one first. I mean, it's literally just working for two companies. I went to that one first, and then I went to the other one right after. But I was telling Viv before, I was like, I feel like I've almost never celebrate St. Patty's Day. Yeah. There's like the rare occasion where my company would have an event, and those I feel like are not because I'm celebrating St. Patty's Day, but I'm getting free stuff. Right. What was the free stuff that you got? Free drinks. Beer? Like, yeah, just free drink and food, right? So I was like, okay, I'll go. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Was it green? No, it was just normal ass beer. Fuck?
No, I don't think they. I mean, they must do it somewhere, but I don't think it's that popular anymore.
Oh, really? I would imagine it's so easy to do that, though.
Like, you just put green dye in your beer?
Yeah.
What if people just want normal beer?
I guess so. But I mean, if they're out for St. Patty's Day, I'm sure some sort of themed item would.
The Oilers were playing too, so it's not like
okay,
everyone was out for St. Patty's Day, I assume.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, as a kid, I never really celebrated St. Patty's Day. I think the only thing we did was like you got to wear green that day
to school, or someone's gonna pinch you.
Yeah, something like that. But then as a kid, I didn't really pick my outfit. It was my mom that always picked my outfit to go to school, so I just wear whatever she put like on the bed.
Yeah.
So like if there's no green, I'd be like, fuck,
I'm getting pinched today.
Yeah, by chance on that same Friday, on the whatever. Is it always a Friday or is it always the same day number?
Can you look it up?
Yeah, I'll look it up. What did you do for St. Patty's Day?
I only celebrated St. Patty's Day when I was in school too, and because of school. And yeah, in elementary school, I never really picked out. Okay, I wouldn't say never, but half the time I would pick up my clothes, and the other half of the time my mom would pick it out for me and lay it on the bed as well. Or specifically bring it to my grandparents' house so I can change later. And if I wasn't wearing green, I'd be like, fuck, I'm getting pinched to school. Or I'm getting pinched at school. But a thought that would really quickly follow after that would be, well, if anyone fucking pinches me today, I'm just going to pinch them back. I don't fucking care.
That's against the rules, Viv.
Yeah, but St. Patty's Day, pinch me again, then I'll pinch them again.
St. Patty's is actually on March 17th, the official day.
Oh shit, it's in 2 days.
I think everyone went out on Friday instead because they couldn't get drunk on a Monday.
Yeah.
Is usually how it works.
Or maybe today's also going to be the day that everyone goes out.
Oh, maybe. I mean, work-wise, at least that's when they have the work events. Mm-hmm. It's probably the Friday before or whatever the closest Friday is. Mm-hmm. It's usually before. Celebrations, attending parades, and Sealy.
What's the point of St. Patty's Day, or what is the history behind it?
Feast of St. Patrick is a religious and cultural holiday held on 17th March, the traditional death day of St. Patrick, the foremost patron saint of Ireland.
Oh.
St. Patrick's Day was an official Christian feast day in the early 17th century and is observed by the Catholic Church, the Anglican Communion, the East Orthodox Church, and the Lutheran Church. The day commemorates St. Patrick and the arrival of Christianity in Ireland, and by extension celebrates the heritage and culture of the Irish in general. Celebrations generally involve public parades and festivals. Sealith? Let's see. And the wearing of green attire. What is a Sealith thing? A Sealith is a traditional Scottish and Irish social gathering. It is the most basic form. It simply means a social visit. In contemporary usage, it usually involves dancing and playing Gaelic folk music, either at home or at a large concert, at a social hall, or other community gathering place.
This may be a dumb question, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to it, but I'm going to ask you anyways. Irish people speak English, right?
Yep. They just speak like a funny...
Just with an accent? There's no, like, mostly English, but there's, like, an actual Irish language. I'm guessing they speak English, but there's Irish terms that
like jargon, yeah, or like their how was it called again? Yeah, just the way they not the way they speak, but they have certain terminologies for certain things. I think. Actually, I know there's like a gypsy language.
What the fuck, really?
Yeah, gypsies. I swear, it's either I can't understand them or there's
gypsies
a different
are
language.
Like nomads, right?
Yes,
that are always on the go.
But I think there's a bunch in. Is there? Are there
gypsy language?
I thought there were gypsies in Ireland.
Like Animal Crossing, Animal Lease, or whatever.
Let's see. Irish travelers, a distinct ethnic group in Ireland, and they are sometimes referred to as gypsies or tinkers. Although these terms are considered pejorative by many, Irish travelers are a distinct ethnic group. They're not genetically related to the Roma people, who are of Indo-Aryan origin and have their own unique culture and traditions. Yeah, I think there's an Irish gypsy thing. They're called Irish travelers, but I think
they have their own language.
They have. It's not. Oh, here it's called Hiberno English, Anglo-Irish, essentially super Irish English. I don't know. They have like different words for different things.
Like what?
I don't know. Let me see. Examples of Anglo-Irish. Oh no, Anglo, yeah.
When I was younger, you know how luck is a popular concept during St. Patty's Day?
Yeah.
I would always try and find a 4-leaf clover
Yeah.
on the day. I have never found one in my fucking life.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I should make a 4-leaf clover field.
You should. I heard they're easier to maintain than grass.
Okay, here, let's see. This first full Irish language speech given in wherever.
Is that guy Post
Thank you, member, and Irma
Northern
Exling
Irish.
Riley. I call Exling Riley.
Got a ceann córa agus tuair méid fáil den a bháil clúisní a chuisteach mas féidir. Chur an fáilte ribbon déis Lord New agus bud coranium na ha hunkin.
Yeah, I can understand any of this.
Agus le codí
She's speaking English?
I think. Okay, I think there is an Irish language, but then the Irish English is like
sounded like Dutch.
Really mix. Okay, let's see. Irish schoolboy with thick accent warns of frostbite.
It was a wintry walk to school in Part Village, but they're a hardy breed in these parts.
Well, the mother says we had to go anyway. We hadn't much a choice in the matter, but sure.
It's a cold journey to school this morning.
Oh, God, you wouldn't belong getting frost, but
It's nice to
Holy shit, the second guy that said getting frostbite, something like that, if I didn't see that CC, I would not understand what he said.
Dude, their music is really nice though. Like Gaelic folk songs. Folk.
What's Gaelic mean? All I can hear is the gay part.
Here, let's see the formal definition of Gaelic. Gaelic relating to Oidilic group of Celtic languages, particularly the Celtic language of Scotland and the culture associated with the speakers of these language and their descendants.
Relating to the Gaelic group of...
I just know it's that area.
I can't do
usually.
accents.
That area of
I see.
stuff is Gaelic. But yeah, Gaelic folk music is actually, it sounds pretty cool.
Let's hear some.
All right, let me pause this so we don't get banned on YouTube again. All right, we just listened to a bunch of random Irish music, Irish things.
Watched an Irish TikTok.
Yeah, just to get into the Irish mood. But yeah, that's if you guys don't know Irish Gaelic music, folk. I don't know. It sounds pretty cool. It's like a whole different realm of it. Realm of music. Like I feel like I'm one of the few who listens to everything almost.
You actually do.
So then I always like my algorithm's always fucked. Like there's always just random shit like Mongolian throat singing sometimes or like just some random shit because there's always something like I don't know. It just sounds really cool.
Yeah, we were scrolling through YouTube list trying to find some Irish singing, and one of the videos Alvin has already watched it before.
Yeah, it's like an Irish wedding, and this girl singing the song, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember this one and this one because I don't know, I have no like affinity to any specific group or thing. It's just like, oh, this sounds kind of cool. Let me listen to this. But whether it's on my playlist or not, that's a different thing, right? Like some things you just can't put on your, or it's just hard to like heavy metal is kind of weird to put on if I'm just listening in the car and all of a sudden it's like screamo music. Like it has to be like a very set time you use those.
Yes.
So if you're like using a generic playlist, it's like kind of weird. But anyways, yeah, Irish music, Irish culture, Irish things.
Pretty neat.
My one coworker, she actually teaches Irish dancing.
Well,
I was asking her, I was like, hey, what's the Irish food thing, right? And she's like, there's nothing. It's like, what do you mean? She's like, it's just stew. Just like fucking stews. Like Irish stew and stuff.
Oh.
And just a lot of potatoes. I was like, so the stereotypes are right.
I mean,
all you guys fucking eat is just potatoes and a bunch of fucking stews.
What kind of stew?
Irish stew. You never had Irish stew?
Oh, with like stout?
Yeah. They cook it with stout. But it's just like potatoes, carrots, and beef or something like that. And
looks like the food you would
stew.
Yeah, it looks like the food you would eat when you go camping or you're playing a game and they're like, I made you some stew. Thanks for staying over at my cabin.
Doesn't it look like it just looks like one of the perfect freeze-dried meals?
Yeah.
Like super hearty, lots of calories. Because usually, ideally, when you're eating a freeze-dried meal, you're just surviving.
You just finished trekking the mountains.
Yeah, some shit like that. So you just want something super hearty, super high carbs to like replenish yourself.
You're in this cabin to collect some potions.
Yeah. So that's all I know about fucking Irish stuff. Their food's average. She said like there's Irish dancing, but she teaches it. And this weekend she has a lot of events to go to, but she doesn't let them go to any like bars because they used to do that.
Yeah.
And she's like, she always felt uncomfortable because like they always booked them at bars and stuff. I mean, I'm sure it's just a bunch of drunk guys trying to like holler at them and shit.
I see.
Which is like, okay, that's reasonable. You're not like a stripper, so you shouldn't be there. In my opinion, at least.
Makes sense.
Yeah, other than that, I don't know much about Irish culture. I know that it's also cold there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
They have hills, I imagine.
yeah. Here, how about things about Ireland? Things about Ireland. People don't.
I know Bub's Beauty used to live there.
Bub's Beauty. Bub's Beauty. Who's that?
It's this really
Bubs.
old YouTuber that was really, really popular at one point, like over a decade ago.
Oh, I think I kind of recognize her. Well, didn't she have some type of turmoil?
Yeah.
What's the turmoil? The T?
She was a beauty influencer,
Uh-huh.
and her husband got a divorce.
Is it?
Her husband.
They just divorced?
Because he had a secret family, apparently.
Oh, really? In China?
Yeah, like in Hong Kong.
Oh, really? Impressive.
Yeah. The main thing is that she just was a really popular Asian beauty YouTuber.
I see. Now that's crazy. Could you imagine having a secret family?
Yeah.
Like, if
And
you
you already
spent,
have a family?
yeah, if you spent all that time doing anything else,
Yeah.
you'd be pretty successful, I'd assume.
Yeah.
Like the people
like-
who have secret families, they must have a lot. They're pretty high functioning, no?
They
To
have
be able
like-
to manage two families.
Yeah. Secretly, I was going to say having one kid is probably a lot. Having two kids is probably a lot. Having a whole other family with, I don't know if there's kids or anything. I never read into this, but that's insane.
Dude, I keep telling my sister this. I was like, how do you guys have time to do stuff? Because my sister has a kid, right? It's
Yeah.
like- she's like, we don't. I was like,
That's
what
terrible.
hobbies do you have? You're like, we don't. I was like, what the fuck? I don't get how you guys live a real life now.
Yeah. I feel like when you have kids, you have to prioritize them and give them like all your time and energy, and everything that you want and desire and all your needs come second. That's it.
Yeah. How the fuck do people have time for a secret family?
I
Brother,
know.
I barely have time for my hobbies.
I know.
If I had a kid, I'd have time for nothing.
Exactly. I'd feel so stressed out all the time.
It's crazy. Anyways, you were saying she lives in Ireland?
Yeah. Which
She's
I think is really
there?
interesting because it's not common to see an Asian with an Irish accent.
Oh, she has an Irish accent? Did she always have an Irish accent?
Yeah.
Really? Maybe I just never heard her talk then.
I wonder if you can.
Oh, her last video was 3 years ago, so she's washed now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she's not. I haven't watched her in like over a decade.
I didn't know she had an Irish accent. I don't think I ever actually heard her
Mm-hmm.
speak. But interesting. Okay, cool. Anyways, we're gonna do more facts about Ireland since we're trying to talk about Irish stuff. St. Patrick wasn't Irish. Well, that's fucking disappointing.
What the fuck?
Nigeria consumes more Guinness than Ireland.
All right. These facts are becoming
This is
very
just
disappointing.
fucking
Ireland.
depressing, is it? The Titanic was built in Belfast.
And
in
that's why
Northern-
it sunk.
I don't know, man. Boycotts originated in Ireland. What
Interesting.
the fuck? Oh, Irish is a language. Is the official first language of Ireland. Oh.
Oh, interesting.
Corned beef and cabbage is an American innovation. These guys are just saying how Ireland sucks.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this AI doing? Gay marriage is legal in Ireland. That's not even that impressive anymore.
Yeah. it
It's
should
pretty
be.
legal in a lot of places.
Oh, Halloween originated in Ireland?
Did it?
Well, that's pretty neat.
About witches and shit? I don't know if it did. Let's not spew fucking fake facts. 18 facts about Ireland. There are approximately over 70 to 80 million people of Irish descent living outside of Ireland. That's not impressive. You want to see how many Chinese people are not in China? The Great Famine, spanning from 1845 to 1852, tragically took about 1 million lives. That's just sad.
Okay. Did it start in Ireland? Is that why it's on this list?
The main cause of Great Hunger was a potato blight, a fungal infection that ruined Ireland's most vital crop. The worst affected areas were the west and south, where Irish was the most commonly spoken language. Yeah,
They-
destroyed their potatoes. Ireland is home to two nations: Northern Ireland, which capital is Belfast, is part of the United Kingdom, alongside England, Scotland, and Wales. The Republic of Ireland, whose capital is Dublin, is an independent republic that's part of the European. Oh yeah, I knew that. Did you know that? Like Ireland and UK are separate. Like there's an actual Ireland
yeah.
you can go to. That's not that interesting. The longest place name is in Ireland. Oh, you want to try that?
Muckhagen.
Yeah, I think you already fucked up.
What really? Muckhagen.
There's no H there.
Muck. What?
It's Muckan. No, you said Muckegg.
Mucken.
It's Muckanag Edder Dau Aulia.
All right, can you put that into Google and see how it's pronounced? Muckang.
You said Muckhair, right?
Muckang.
You're putting the H right after the muck.
Pronunciation.
Pronunciation. I fucked that up.
Muckanganader.
That's it.
Muckinafeter Dahlia.
Fucking. What
Okay,
the fuck?
I'm good. Ireland doesn't have any snakes. Wait, are there snakes everywhere? Legends say St. Patrick chased the snakes from the island of Ireland. But a more grounded explanation for one of the most famous facts about Ireland is that after the Ice Age, the land bridge connecting Ireland to Europe was submerged before the snakes could slither their way onto the Emerald Isle. There's one reptile species that is native to Ireland, however, the common lizard, which is a bit less scary. Wait, this is one of their most famous facts? How is this?
That they have no snakes.
That's kind of sad.
I don't mean to be disrespectful or anything, but y'all have a lot to be proud of.
A real four-leaf clover can only be from the white clover plant. Okay.
Ooh.
Redheads only make up about 10% of the Irish population.
Interesting.
Oh, we've been shitting on them. They don't have souls. The Irish stew is the national dish of Ireland and traditionally includes mutton.
Nice.
Okay. The lease for the Guinness Brewery was signed in 1759 for 9,000 years.
Wow.
Wait. Oh, so Guinness Brewery doesn't own their brewery. It's just signed for forever.
It's just a lease.
Oh, interesting. Due to Ireland's small population, many people historically had just one name.
Oh, cool.
Last names were first established in Ireland by adding either O or Mac. So O means grandson of.
Oh, like
so
McDonald.
O'John, O'Reilly,
Oh, cool.
O whatever. And then
Cool.
Mac. Yeah, MacDonald.
It's a pretty fun.
Mac James. Irish whiskey isn't the same as Scottish whiskey. Well, isn't that obvious? I'm not even going to read that one. Legends say that the Blarney Stone can give you the gift of gab.
The fuck is gift of gab?
And
The
kiss the
gift of
rock,
Gabe.
hoping to win the gift of perfect speech. Oh.
Cool.
Okay. You can hear mermaids sing at
Is
the
that why
cliffs
it's
of
called
Moher.
Gabbling? Gabbling? Oh, never mind. I don't know.
No idea. Ireland has the most Nobel Prize winners in literature per capita. Oh. George Bernard Shaw, William Butler Yeats, Samuel Beckett, and Seamus Heaney are the four Nobel Prize winners in literature from Ireland. That's kind of just, I don't know. I feel like in general, it doesn't
Interesting.
Israel have the most, there's the most Jewish Nobel Prize winners, I think, in general.
Oh, yeah.
One of the oldest operational lighthouses is in Ireland. The biggest wave surfed in Ireland was 60 feet tall. That's pretty cool. The national emblem of Ireland isn't the shamrock.
What's the biggest wave surfed in general? Imagine it's like 600 feet.
I don't think that's possible. Biggest
Or I'm just saying something
wave
that's
surfed.
crazy.
Surfed. It's 93 feet. So that was
Interesting.
2/3 of that. That's not bad. 93 feet scary as fuck.
Yeah.
That's.
I can't even imagine it.
You ever see those? What's that movie again? What's the Interstellar? You see how crazy big waves are in that planet and shit? I mean, obviously it was fake, but still, that's crazy to have tidal waves everywhere. Anyways, it seems like Ireland's not that interesting, unfortunately. I don't know many
We
Irish people.
tried,
there.
guys.
I do actually want to go there one day.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it seems like a cool place to go, where Frodo was born and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Frodo and Bilbo Baggins.
Irish language is one of the oldest living languages.
I
Rib Latin.
think isn't Arabic older?
One of top 100.
Oh yeah, they have a musical instrument as its national symbol.
It's the
Halloween has origins in the Celtic harvest festival of Samhain that took place in Ireland at the end of summer. Dang.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's not that interesting actually.
Yeah, so
None of
sorry.
this. So St. Paddy's Day is kind of a scam then. He's not even Irish.
Yeah. What is he?
He's a saint. He's a saint that brought
But
Christianity.
where is he from?
I don't know.
Just the States.
No, I'm pretty sure it's like some
China.
Christian place.
He's like, it was a bad translation of my name.
Do you know where's a weird place that has a lot of Chinese people? Cuba.
Oh, really? What the fuck?
Yeah. Let's see, Chinese people.
When I think of a Cuban Chinese person, I think of a Chinese person with big tits and big ass.
Chinese Cubans. Chinese Cubans are Cubans of full or mixed Chinese ancestry. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, history. Chinese immigration to Cuba started in 1837 when Chinese contract workers were forcibly brought to work in the sugar fields. They fucking enslaved Chinese people in Cuba
Makes sense.
to work in the sugar fields via the indentured labor system. Hundreds of thousands of Chinese workers were brought in from Qing China, British Hong Kong, Portuguese Macau, and Taiwan during the following decades to replace and work alongside African and mixed ancestry slaves. Damn, so we were
Jesus.
slaves too in Cuba.
CLM.
After completing 8-year contracts or otherwise obtaining their freedom, some Chinese immigrants settled permanently in Cuba, although most longed for repatriation to their homeland. Havana's Chinatown, known as Barrio Chino de la Habana, is one of the oldest and largest Chinatowns in Latin America.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Do they
That's
look
what I
different?
found out.
Can you?
Chinese Cubans. Here's some old pictures of people who are Chinese Cuban. They just look Chinese.
Yeah, they just look the same.
Is she Chinese Cuban? She looks more Cuban than Chinese.
They didn't get the small
Dude,
waist.
that
big
looks like a
ass.
dude. That girl looks like a dude. No?
Yeah, it does.
What the heck? Yeah.
I wonder what a Chinese mixed Cuban would look like.
Like these people, no?
Well,
It's
they
just a
look more-
dark Chinese.
Yeah, darker. Yes, that makes
There's some
sense.
pretty Chinese people here.
They don't get more.
They look
Slim,
almost like
thick.
Filipino, actually.
Don't get the good Cuban genes.
What? What's the good Cuban gene?
I think where they have more of a thicker body and bigger assets.
Cuban girls? Is that what you want me to? Women?
Oh, like that's so pretty.
Dude, you search it from any country, you're gonna find surprisingly. Like, what do you think of a Mongolian woman? I think of a savage.
I think of Genghis Khan.
But there's some like really hot or really pretty Mongolian models.
Oh yeah.
I mean, okay, probably the average of the citizens look like, like this kind of, a bit bigger, chubbier, because they're like maybe nomadic and stuff, so they're not actually
Fuck, I forgot where it was
Maybe
that I
no-
think
no more.
girls look so freaking pretty from. It's like a.
Afghanistan.
I was not a stand, but I think it's like a something can. It's like where they look like they're both Euro mixed, but also Asian in a way. But they're like
Russian?
no, not Russian. It's definitely like a can or a stand or something like that.
Uzbekistan?
Oh, I forgot the name, but they look so pretty.
Compare models of different nationalities. Okay, these just look like fucking American right now, so I have no idea. Actually,
I don't
just
know.
look the
It's
same.
like a stand or a can or something.
Like Russian models. Russian models are beautiful.
Definitely not Russian. Okay, let me look at.
There's some Russians that look very Asian.
Oh yeah.
Some mega Asian genes in that. Russian Asian models. Yeah, there's some Russians that look straight up like Chinese people.
I know, but they just have all the nicer features.
And they literally speak super fluent Russian, which is so surprising. I mean, to me, just because of the way they look, because I'm racist, but. Middle Eastern models.
Yeah, like this chick. She looks so good.
I feel like it's the Afghanistan one that has like the super,
Yeah, it's something like that.
like they're super symmetrical. and
Yeah.
their face is just so attractive,
And their facial features are so like
and it looks so
sharp and
like,
wide and
genetically perfect.
yeah, like literally like an AI.
Yeah.
Created their face.
Yeah. Anyways,
Something like that. That's one of the stands.
Mexican models. Like Mexicans have some very beautiful ladies too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. If there's a typical or anything. The other day I went to a. Did I tell you I went to a Mexican store? You see the store already?
No,
I went to a Mexican store to buy some food. Because I was doing taco nights with my cousins.
I know you went to H&W for the first time.
Oh yeah, that was huge. I was like, wow, how is it so cheap? I might have to.
They have
buy
a sale on
more.
strawberries right now.
Anyways, I went to the Mexican store and the lady came up to me and she like started speaking Spanish. I was like,
I took Duolingo for this.
I was like, hablo poco español. She's like, oh, I thought you were Spanish. I was like, no.
Really?
Then I came to the conclusion, no matter what nationality you are, poor people look like poor people. So I look like every nationality because I just look like a poor person.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, like when I went to almost every country I went to in Asia, they thought I was of that Asian country.
You do look a little bit ambiguous. Like you could because
Yeah.
you have darker skin tone.
Like the weird one was Korea. When I went to Korea, they thought I was Korean. I was like,
Oh, really?
I
Okay,
didn't
I don't
come
see
from
it
the-
at all.
I think it was like military guys.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't. I was like, I have no idea. And then yeah, every Southeast Asian country, they all think I'm from there.
Oh, cool.
I'm just like, no, that's why I try to speak super English, like as Americanized English as possible, to not make it
My cow.
ambiguous for them at all.
I think I'll put that on my credit card.
Something like that. Anyways, anything else you want to talk about St. Patty's Day?
No, sorry. We tried to find out some really cool facts for you guys
It's
and to learn for
fucking
ourselves,
lame.
but it seems quite limited.
Did you know the meaning of green in Chinese? It means like you cheat on your wife.
Money? Oh.
Green
Oh, wait, no, that's red.
color in Chinese
I would thought it's related to like jade or some shit.
meaning. No, if you wear like a green hat or something.
Oh, what the fuck?
Okay, what is
Well,
it?
according to Google, it's lucky for health, wealth, and
It's something about. Oh yeah, it signifies being cuckold or having a partner who is
Wearing a-
unfaithful.
green hat signify what the fuck?
Wearing a green hat signifies being a cuckold or having a partner who is unfaithful.
Jesus.
Why green? The origin story suggests that during the Yuan dynasty, the relatives of prostitutes were forced to wear green hats, and this association with infidelity stuck.
Damn.
Yeah, right.
What about a different color?
What do you
Different colored hats mean different things in Chinese?
mean? I don't think so.
Or is it just specifically a green
Let's
hat?
see. Specific meaning of colors in China. Red is a national symbol or color. I mean,
I feel like they're gonna say everything's fucking lucky.
yeah, that's right. Red is the color of good fortune, happiness, and prosperity. It's often used during celebrations. Blah blah blah. Yellow is associated with royalty, power, and the emperor. Oh, okay. It's also linked to the earth element. White is traditionally associated with mourning and purity. Blue and green, these colors are often associated with harmony and growth. Okay. Black can symbolize solemnity, power, and the element of water. Purple is often associated with nobility and spirituality. Orange is symbol of luck and health. Okay, that's kind of a couple.
Yeah.
Pink is a shade of red and shares similar meanings. Okay, the 5 elements. In traditional Chinese metaphysics, the colors are associated with the 5 elements: water, fire, wood, metal, and earth.
You gotta say it like the last airbender, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What does green symbolize? Green symbol in different cultures. Let's see. Across many South American cultures that are rich in forest, green symbolizes death. Okay. In the Middle East,
Oh,
green represents
fuck.
fertility, luck, and wealth, and is considered traditional color of Islam. In Eastern cultures,
Oh.
green symbolizes youth, fertility, and new life, but it can also mean infidelity. Okay, that's the thing we're looking at.
Interesting.
Yeah, so in conclusion, St. Patrick Day is kind of lame.
A leprechaun wears a green hat because he's unfaithful.
Probably. He's fucking all those other dwarfs.
Leprechauns.
What's that? Leprechaun's a dwarf, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. He's having dwarf sex.
He's a little person.
Oh, yeah, that's the appropriate way of saying it. or something.
Yeah.
Oh, here, last thing. How did you feel about the time change? It was this past weekend, right? I feel like I lost my day.
Wait, when did the time change
It was
happen?
on Sunday, Saturday night, Sunday morning, like Sunday at midnight or some shit.
Like last week?
This past week,
Oh, like last Sunday?
this past Sunday,
Oh shit.
the Sunday that just passed. Yes,
At what time?
it's usually like midnight or something. It turns
Oh
into
yeah,
1
I
instead.
never noticed.
Yeah.
So that's it.
So you just woke up, you looked at your phone, you're like, oh, I guess I slept in.
No, I woke up and that's it. I never noticed because I have an alarm that sets, and I'm either like, oh, I feel more tired or feel less tired, and that's it.
Oh, so you got 1 less hour of sleep and you didn't notice?
Yeah.
You don't have
That's-
clocks around your house you have to change?
No, everything's pretty. Or actually, except from the fridge and the microwave, everything's automatic.
Oh, really? So you didn't even notice the time change? You didn't notice
No.
like the sun was out later?
I just thought, oh, nice, it's getting warmer and sunnier out.
Oh shit! I mean, for me, I was tired that day. I was like, fuck, I felt like I missed like half the day.
I think I went to sleep early too that day, so maybe that's why.
I did sleep early, and I woke up and I realized that I've already lost an hour, and I was like, "What the fuck?
Mhm.
What's going on?" And then I realized the time changed already.
Oh yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
It was disappointing.
And
But anyways, that's about it. See you guys next time.
thanks for listening, guys. Bye.